It was a quiet afternoon when Mara returned home with a few food items. As she approached her door, she was startled to see the old woman sitting silently on her doorstep. "Mama," she said, placing her bag down. "How are you feeling? I hope everything is okay." The woman looked up at her. Her face was calm, almost too calm, and her eyes held something Mara couldn't quite read. "I came to see you," the old woman said softly. Mara blinked. "To see me?" "Yes, my daughter," she replied. "Sit down." Mara slowly lowered herself to the step beside her, curiosity growing in her chest. "I gave you a gift," the woman continued, "because I saw the purity in your heart. Your kindness wasn't for gain. It was natural. But something has changed." Mara frowned. "Changed? What do you mean?" The old woman turned to face her, her voice now low and steady. "The gold has been touched by hands that were not meant to hold it." Mara's chest tightened. "Jasper!" The woman nodded slowly. "He came to me pretending to care, pretending to be sorry. But his heart was loud, even though his mouth was soft." Mara's breath caught in her throat. "Did he take more?" The old woman didn't answer immediately. She looked out at the sky, then back at Mara. "There are things we give as tests, not rewards. What you received was a blessing. What he stole has turned into something else." A chill ran down Mara's spine. What will happen to him? The woman stood, her bones creaking faintly, but her posture strong. What happens to those who betray trust is not always in our hands. The gold will not bring him wealth. It will bring him truth. And sometimes, truth is heavier than gold. Mara stared at her, unable to speak. The old woman turned and began to walk away, her feet barely making a sound against the ground. That evening, news spread through the neighborhood. Jasper had been seen running barefoot through the streets, shouting nonsense at the wind. His clothes were torn, his face wild, and in his eyes was a fear no one could understand. Some said he had gone mad. Others said he was cursed. Mara stood by her window, the gold still hidden in her home, untouched since the day she received it. She no longer saw it as a miracle. It had become something sacred, something that had shown her the difference between selfishness and selflessness. In the days that followed, Mara's life slowly began to change. Not through riches or luck, but through the respect and kindness she began receiving from those around her. Jobs came her way. Doors opened. And the gold? It remained wrapped, untouched. A reminder that doing the right thing can lead to things money can't buy. But in the shadows of the city, where whispers travel faster than footsteps, people still talk about the girl who helped a stranger and was given something extraordinary, and the man who tried to take what was never his, and paid a terrible price. The old woman's eyes were sharp as she spoke slowly. "Mara, did you take my gold?" Mara's heart skipped a beat, her mouth slightly open in shock. "What?" she gasped. "No, Mama, I didn't. I would never do that." The woman said nothing, only stared at her with piercing calm. Mara's hands began to tremble. "I swear, Mama," she pleaded, her voice thick with tears. "I didn't touch anything." After the woman left, Mara sank to the floor, her thoughts spinning. "Why would she ask me that?" she whispered to herself. Then her eyes widened. Her memory rushed back to the moment she told Jasper about the gold. She remembered how intently he had stared at it. She closed her eyes tightly. "No," she muttered. "He's my friend. He wouldn't." But something didn't sit right. Jasper hadn't called or checked on her since that day, and now the gold was gone. Mara clutched her head in her hands. What if he really did it? She didn't want to believe it, but deep inside, a small voice whispered, check on him. That night, sleep eluded her. The next morning, she walked straight to Jasper's house and knocked hard. He came out yawning, clearly just waking up. "Jasper," she said firmly, standing in front of him, "did you take the old woman's gold?" His eyes opened wide before narrowing into a frown. "Me?" he barked. "Are you okay? Why would you accuse me?" "Because she came to my house asking," Mara replied. "And you were the only one who saw it." Jasper raised his hand in frustration. "Don't insult me. I don't even know where that woman lives." "Then why are you shouting?" Mara asked quietly. Jasper turned away in anger. "I'm done with this nonsense," he muttered and walked off, shaking his head. That evening, Jasper returned home, whistling as he opened his gate. But when he reached his door, he froze. The old woman was sitting there, calm, quiet. "Mama," he said, startled. "Why are you here?" She lifted her eyes to his and asked gently, "Where is my gold?" Jasper laughed nervously and scratched his head. "Mama, I kept it just like you said. I didn't touch anything, I swear." The woman stared at him, her eyes unblinking. "Are you sure?" He nodded quickly, but his hands shook behind his back. She rose slowly, her voice soft but firm. "If you took it, return it now. If you don't, be ready for what follows." Jasper opened his mouth, but no words came out. The woman turned and walked away, never once looking back. He stood at his door, breathing heavily, glancing around nervously. "She's just an old woman," he whispered. "She can't do anything. My money is coming soon. I'll be fine." He locked his door. But that night, he didn't sleep. A few days later, something strange happened. People saw Jasper wandering the streets barefoot, his clothes torn, hair unkempt. He laughed and muttered to himself. "I'm rich," he shouted, tossing sand into the air. Children ran. Shopkeepers stared. "Is that not Jasper?" someone asked. No one had an answer. Mara was walking under the hot sun, her small bag in hand, when she saw someone coming from the other direction. No shoes, torn shirt, wild hair, talking to himself and laughing. Her heart raced. She stared closely, then shouted, "Jasper!" The man stopped. His eyes were bloodshot, his lips cracked. "Jasper? Is that you?" she asked again. He turned away, still talking to himself. Mara ran toward him. Before he could get far, she grabbed his shirt. "Stop there," she cried. He struggled, but he was weak. "You're not going anywhere," she said, holding him tightly. "Tell me what happened. Who did this to you?" Jasper looked at her, smiled oddly, and whispered, "The gold, it's talking to me." Mara's hands trembled. She pulled him to the roadside. "Jasper, talk to me. Please. What gold? What did you do?" But he only laughed again, pointing to the sky. "Money is sweet, but it can burn your head." She stared into his eyes. A chill ran down her spine. "I hope it's not what I'm thinking." Jasper looked at her again and began to laugh louder, spinning in circles. "I took her gold. I took it. It was me," he shouted, clapping his hands like a child. People stopped and stared. Some shook their heads. Others whispered, "He's gone mad." Mara stood in disbelief. She moved closer and held his arm. "You mean, you stole it?" Jasper smiled strangely. "I told the pot to hush, but it shouted. I hid the gold under my shirt." "Shush, don't tell the tree." Mara stepped back, stunned. "You lied to me, Jasper. You said you didn't touch it. Why? I was going to build a house in the sky, he replied, crawling on the ground, with golden chairs and a door that talks. She covered her mouth, tears spilling down her cheeks. He had lost his mind, and now she knew why. She looked around, desperate. You're coming with me, she said. We're going to see that old woman. But Jasper shouted, No, the gold is mine. Mine and the frogs. He kicked and flailed. Mara held on, sweating. Help me, she cried. Please, someone help. A tall man stepped forward. What's going on here? Please, she said, breathless. This is my friend Jasper. Something is wrong. He's lost his mind. I need help. The man looked at Jasper, who was now crawling and talking to a stone, and nodded. Okay. Let's take him. He needs help fast. Jasper suddenly sprang up. Don't let the pot see me, he screamed. The man grabbed one side of him, Mara held the other, and together they led him to the old woman's compound. The sun was low. The place was quiet. She sat outside on a bench, her stick beside her, eyes on the ground. She looked like she had been waiting. Mama, please, Mara cried, falling to her knees. Help him. The woman slowly lifted her head. Mara pointed behind her. It's Jasper. He took your gold. He lied. Now he's gone mad. Please. The old woman listened in silence. He keeps calling your name, Mara said. He said only you can help him. The woman took a step forward, her eyes steady, her voice calm. When the gold disappeared, I looked him in the eye. I gave him a chance. He lied. Mara's eyes filled with panic. What is wrong with him now, the woman continued, is not from me. It came from above. I cannot help him. Mara jumped up and ran to her, clutching her wrapper. Please, she sobbed. Forgive him. He did wrong. I know. But please, help him. There was silence. Even Jasper stopped laughing. The old woman turned slowly. Let me think. She looked at Mara for a long time, then finally nodded. If not for your good heart, I would not. He stole, lied, and mocked me. But because of you, I will try. She walked to Jasper, who was now sitting and pulling grass. She didn't smile. She placed her right hand on his chest and tapped it once, then again. Jasper's body shook. Suddenly, he collapsed. Mama, what happened? Mara cried. The woman raised her hand. Now we wait. The air was still. Jasper wasn't moving. Mara bent beside him. Jasper, please wake up. He stirred, then opened his eyes slowly. Where am I? He looked up, saw the old woman, and panicked. Mara and the man held him down. You're safe, she said. You were sick. You were mad. Jasper looked confused. Mad? Yes, Mara said. You were barefoot, talking to yourself. He turned to the old woman. You helped me. The woman said nothing. Mara nodded. Mama saved you. Jasper knelt. Thank you, Mama. I didn't know what I was doing. Please forgive me. Mara asked, Where's the gold, Jasper? Tell the truth. He scratched his head. I gave it to someone. Who? I don't know his name. But before everything went dark, he said the gold changed. Changed? Mara frowned. He said, it turned to pepper. Red pepper. Mara stepped back. Are you lying again? I swear, Jasper said. The old woman raised her hand. Mara, she said, wait. Mara turned. He's not lying, the woman said calmly. The gold didn't become Pepper. It was taken back. Mara looked confused. Taken back? The woman nodded. It never belonged to me. I was only keeping it for a spirit. When Jasper took it, the spirit came for it. That's why he lost his mind. Jasper's hand shook. The woman reached into her wrapper and pulled out a small black bag. This is the gold. It returned yesterday. I didn't call it. It came back to me on its own. Mara's eyes widened. So, everything he said was true? Yes. He was punished for taking what was not his. But now the gold is where it belongs. Jasper dropped to his knees. I didn't know. I thought it was just money. The woman looked at him. Not everything that shines is yours to touch. Silence. Jasper bowed. I'm sorry, Mama. I'll never do it again. Greed brought this upon you, she said. Be content with what you have. I understand now, he whispered. Then she turned to Mara, her tone gentler. The gold I gave you. Tomorrow makes 7 days, right? Yes, Mama. Good. Don't delay. Use it well. That gold found you because of your good heart. You helped me without expecting anything. Tears filled Mara's eyes. Thank you, Mama. The woman stood. You may go. What needed to be done is done. Jasper bowed. Mara thanked her again. They walked away in silence, knowing nothing would ever be the same. And that was how it all ended. Mara received her reward, not because she asked for it, but because of her kindness. Jasper learned, through pain and shame, that what isn't yours will never bring peace. The lesson is simple: always do good, even when no one is watching. Be content. Greed destroys, but kindness opens doors even money cannot. Now it's your turn. What did this story teach you? Which part touched you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'll be reading them all. Another powerful story is coming in a few days. Trust me, you won't want to miss it. If you enjoyed this, please like and share with your friends. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, stay kind, stay wise, and remain blessed.